Hello again, this is Ben Hitchcock Cross talking to you today. We're going to get into some metaphysics here, so that'll be exciting. Let's do a really good intro, though.
New York, New York.
Who's on the air tonight, dear?
Jack Benny.
Oh, let's go to a movie.
Denver, Colorado.
Oh, Daddy, let's go see a picture show tonight.
Jack Benny is on the air.
I want to see Billy Temple.
Glasgow, Indiana. Heather, who's on the radio tonight?
Jock Benny.
Well, it'll cost me money, but let's go to the movies. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you the man who has done more for moving pictures than any other comedian, Jack Benny. Hey, Don, would you mind trying one more town? Which one? Oh, anyone. Say Waukegan, Illinois.
Waukegan.
Okay. Waukegan, Illinois.
Who's on the air tonight, Mr. Benny?
My son, Jack. Oh, boy.
Oh, then you're not going to the movies tonight.
No, I saw the picture. Do you want me to tune in any other town?
No, Don, that's enough. Huh? Well, hello again. This is Jack Benny, who has just returned from his vacation, and I want to tell you, it's great to be back again. Back with this old gang of mine.
You mean me, Jack?
I sure do. Let's give Wilson a nice big hand. Yes, sir. But no kidding, Don, you look swell. Fit as a bass fiddle.
Oh, God, I've heard that about 5 times over the past couple of days. This is at least the second time I've recorded this video, fingers crossed. So let's see how that goes. I've got the video from A Serious Man. This is the Clive scenes here, so we're going to have me react to that, sort of. But we are going on a metaphysical journey here. Make no mistake about it. I know that many of you are not on the same page with me in terms of beyond a reasonable doubt, guilt or innocence. All that's perfectly fine. We're here to talk about that. What I'm saying to you, and I absolutely respect your opinion, what I am trying to add to that and to try to bring at it from a different discussion is this. I think it's impossible to know really what somebody's motives are. So there is a theory in law that says you can infer somebody's thoughts from their actions. And why is that important? Because in most criminal cases, the prosecutor needs to be able to prove scienter. That means criminal intent. So to do that, you've got to essentially get into the mind of the subject. Well, to many, that sounds impossible. To others, that sounds easy as can be. So it really sort of just begins from your starting point. And I know that I've talked about my experience with prosecutors, especially certainly from the law school angle and others. But this is what I think this clip is going to bring up here. This is the question, more generally of Schrodinger's cat, whether or not something can both be and not be at the same time. Keen watchers will remember that in frustration, I posed to Chief Haensel that did he know of Aristotle's law of non-contradiction? Well, I withdrew that because, I realized it was a bit impertinent at that point. Because there wasn't really a valid answer that he could do. I was just surprised that he was both saying, that's what I mean to say. It was not so much a question as got him as an expression of sort of bewilderment of the assertion that something could both be true and not true simultaneously. Well, that is sort of what this concept of Schrodinger's cat tries to tackle here, is that basically if you can have some random event, and that's there's some nuclear physics involved in that, which is totally unnecessary for the understanding of what's going on, because the real question is if in a given moment something can both you're not really able to know if something is or is not, meaning something is guilty or is not guilty, then what is it? And that's sort of the thought experiment there is to set up a situation where that defies the law of non-contradiction, where something both is and is not, either in potentiality or at that moment. So I think there's some dispute as to that part, but we can leave that alone too. That's what we're going to get into is sort of the question here. I think what's also fascinating about this clip and why I've loved it, little background, I saw this movie, I think in the theaters some years ago. I watched it on video. I completely forgot the name of it, but I've always maintained this line as one of my stock phrases, very much akin to, I'll keep that in mind for future reference, especially when dealing with children, but also adults, is accept the mystery. This is Mr. Kim here. I didn't even know where, I mean, it was bothering me for years, and it's one of the magic of YouTube is I Googled it the other day, thinking of an idea here for a video like we're talking about now, because I do know that people are saying, hey, I'm posing this idea to you all, saying, how can we really infer somebody's thoughts? And from their actions, Ben, what are you, an idiot? So this is why I'm trying to add, this is what more I'm trying to add here. Hopefully, this works.
Messages, Professor Gopnik.
Thank you, Natalie. Oh, Clive.
All right, here's the professor, and here's his student.
So, what can I do for you?
Not necessary.
Dr. Kamnik, I believe the results of the physics midterm were unjust.
Uh-huh. How so?
I received unsatisfactory grade. In fact, F, the failing grade.
Yes. You failed the midterm. That's accurate.
Yes, but that is not just.
Kind of
I was
embarrassing.
unaware to be examined on the mathematics.
Well, you can't do physics without mathematics, really, can you?
If I receive the failing grade, I lose my scholarship, and I feel shame. I understand the physics. I understand the dead cat.
But you...
We'll see if that lets us go back to it, or if it's a total disaster. We'll find out. The one thing I want to say on that is I want to challenge that statement. I mean, I think it was meant to be provocative out there, but to say that you can't do physics without math, I think has been proven wrong time and time again. I think the math really is a skeleton. It is probably the best tool that we have, and we're going to get into that, but it's just a tool that we have to sort of explain the outcome, the physics here, but physics really comes from the concept of what's physically happening, what's the real world like. So we're using math here to describe what the real world is like. But I think it's a mistake to say that the math is the real world. Fingers crossed.
Messages, Professor Gopnik.
Thank you, Natalie.
So that's a failure.
Messages, Professor Gopnik.
Thank you, Natalie.
There we go.
Oh, Clive. Come in. So, you can't do physics without mathematics, really, can you?
If I receive the
go.
failing grade, I lose my scholarship, and I feel shame. I understand the physics. I understand the dead cat.
But you can't really understand the physics without understanding the math. The math tells how it really works. That's the real thing. The stories I give you in class are just illustrative. They're like fables, say, to help give you a picture. I mean, even I don't understand the dead cat. The math is how it really works.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
Well, I'm sorry, but what do you propose?
Passing grade.
No.
Or perhaps I can take the midterm again. I know now it covered the mathematics.
Well, the other students wouldn't like that, would they? If one student gets to retake the test till he gets a grade he likes.
Secret test.
No.
Hashi.
No, that's just not workable. I'm afraid we'll just have to bite the bullet on this thing, Clive, and...
Very troubling. Very troubling.
Very troubling. It's calling some
Hello, Cy. Larry Gopnik.
Larry, how are you, my friend?
Good. How you been, Cy?
Oh, fine. Can we talk, Larry?
What? You,
Hello?
Call back. Clive?
Physics department. She's just stepping up. Can I take a message? Sorry. That was Cy Abelman. He said he got disconnected.
Yes, thanks for coming. Clive, have a seat. We had, I think, a good talk the other day. But you left something.
I didn't leave it.
So what's
Well,
happening?
you don't even know what I was going to say.
I didn't leave anything. I'm not missing anything. I know where everything is.
Well,
Not guilty.
then, Clive, where did this come from? This is here, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That is there.
This is not nothing. This is something.
Yes, that is something. What is it?
You know what it is, I believe. And you know I
Prosecute
can't
it.
keep it, Clive.
Yes, sir.
I'll have to pass it on to Professor Finkel, along with my suspicions about where it came from. Actions have consequences.
Yes, sir. Often.
No, always. Actions always have consequences. In this office, actions have consequences.
Yes, sir.
Not just physics, morally.
Yes.
And we both know about your actions.
No, sir. I know about my actions.
I can interpret, Clive. I know what you meant me to understand.
Yes, sir, my sir.
Mere sir, my sir?
Mere surmise, sir.
Mere surmise,
Yeah,
sir.
Coach, you crash.
It's the dad.
Coach, you crash.
Saying I'm going to sue you for
With all
defamation.
respect, Mr. Park, I don't think it's that.
Yes.
No, it would
Unless
be
you
a
give him a
culture
passing
clash
grade.
if it were the custom in your land to bribe people for grades.
Yes.
So, you're saying it is the custom?
No, this is a defamation. Ground for lawsuit.
Let me get this straight. You're threatening to sue me for defaming your son?
Yes.
But it would...
This man
Couldn't
bothering
be
you?
more perfect.
Is he bothering me?
The neighbor coming
No.
in here on the culture clash. But it could not be more
I,
perfect. Threatening to sue. For defamation. For saying that his son
See-
bribed him.
Look, if it were defamation, there would have to be someone I was defaming him too. Or I... All right, let's keep it simple.
Sure,
I could
good
pretend
point.
the money never appeared. That's not defaming anyone.
Yes. And passing grade.
Passing grade.
Yes.
Or you'll sue me.
For taking money.
So, he did leave the money.
This is defamation.
It doesn't make sense. Either he left the money, or he didn't.
Please. Accept the mystery.
This is him thinking he sees Clive here, and he's just gonna rear it. We're gonna leave that part alone here, but man, that is hilarious. Except a mystery. So, you know, as defense attorney, except a mystery, guys. I think that's that says a lot there. So, just to unpack. And I wanted to point that out again. What is physics? Physics is a method of understanding the universe. What is a court of law? A court of law is a way of determining guilt, facts, things that happen. We accept, I think, in courts of law that although we may say that somebody is guilty, that means that we're all going to accept the fact that they did it. Okay? Meaning you can go around saying that you can't defame them if that they're guilty. That's not defamation, right? There's no everybody around all citizens can accept that this person is guilty of what that court said they did, or that when a court finds a fact, we can all accept that that's what that court found. Okay? It's another step to say that all courts are always perfect. And this is the truth, okay? Because you would have to make that leap there to do that. That's the point. It is perfectly fine to say that this is a great system or the best system that we have, or all sorts of justifications, whatever argument you may have that argument that this is the best system. But for anybody to say with certainty, and I've had that moment where, especially watching, and I think this is what makes YouTube videos, interrogations, for example, so compelling, also depositions. You can have this moment where you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, beyond with voice tone, inflection, timbre, answers, eye movement, body language, whatever metrics you may want to use, gut instinct, what have you, that you're going to say, hey, this person is X, Y, and Z. Okay? You just need to say, understand, and we don't usually say, I believe that this person is X, Y, and Z, or from what I have seen based on their body language, inflection, tone of speech, I believe this. Okay, we don't talk like that. I get that. But it's important to still understand and keep that in mind when you're talking about what I know. Okay? So then the same can be said, I think, of physics. This is an analogy here. The same argument can be said, hey, the math works because it works, meaning I can predict where, if I throw this ball, for example, I can predict where that ball is going to land based on doing mathematical calculations and various factors that I can take into account, okay? And maybe I'm the best mathematician in the world. I can take nearly infinite factors into account, and I can find out exactly where that ball, with near infinite precision, you still see the problem. It's the near infinite precision where that ball is going to land. That's still not totally, that may describe, again, very accurately, almost infinitely, to the point that we can go on with the rest of our lives and not think or bother about it. And even if we did think or bother about it, it might cripple us and it might be counterproductive. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is you still need to keep in mind when you say things like that person is guilty, that you really need to understand, just even before and just from a metaphysical perspective, we're not bringing any other arguments into it, just from the tools, what are our tools that we're using here to assess these things? We have to understand that they're flaws and they're guesses, and we need to move, on that basis. That's my point here when I'm saying, where I am in terms of reasonable doubt. I don't mean to say that everybody's guilty or not guilty or whatever. I mean to say I feel like on that spectrum of how much input data, closer to certainty, closer to that infinite point, I probably am going to be further down that road than most other people. And the way a court system is set up, where you need a unanimous verdict, somebody who's, needs to take in their concept of reasonable doubt needs to be further down that path of towards, complete knowledge, complete certainty, then, that I think is a more accurate representation, a better understanding of what we're talking about when we say knowledge of guilt, reasonable doubt, and again, Schrodinger's cat. So I hope I've successfully brought all these metaphysical elements here together for you, and this, I hope, is interesting. Let's hope as we go out that this is recording, and I'm not just a weirdo in the basement of his office, at least, talking to himself, because that's what we're all looking for, really, in life, is not to be weird. Stick with us. We'll keep you informed.